I guess we should go ahead and move on to our main event, would you
Yep.
say? All right, guys. So again, continuing our three-part topic that we started last week. In case you guys didn't hear, last week we spoke about our E3 predictions on where Nintendo is heading. And this week, for part 2 of 3, we're going to be talking about what's going to happen with Microsoft at E3. So again, just for clarification, Microsoft's E3 press conference will be happening. It's actually the first of the big three, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. It's happening Monday, June 15th. For me, it's 12:30 EST, which I believe is 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. I don't know of any other formats, but it's going to be either in the morning if you live in California, or during lunchtime if you live on the east side, like New York, Florida. And I'm not sure about worldwide, but it's going to be happening June 15th. And we actually have a couple of cool little news bits that we saved for this topic because it's in direct relation to what's going to happen at E3.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, dude, what's your thoughts on Microsoft this year? I personally think last year they had the best E3 press conference.
Agreed.
For
Nintendo.
Dude, Microsoft came out, and first of all, I forgot his name right now, but the guy
Phil Spencer.
Phil Spencer. Dude, I love that guy. He straight up is like, look, we get it. It's all about the games. And bam, all he did was talk about games for the entire conference. And you got to give credit to the man. He turned Microsoft E3 2013, not a good show. It was really fucking bad. 2014, a year later, complete 180, man. Like, turned it around completely, did a great job. So I have hypes for this, actually. This is the of the three, this is the one I'm the most looking forward to. What's your take on all this?
He's a very likable dude, isn't he?
Yes.
Phil Spencer. He connects. He's like Jack Trenton.
Wait, do you mean he connects? He connects with you, see?
No, I didn't, but I can't believe that's actually happened.
It's okay, man. We have so many puns this episode. Just keep them coming. I love them.
Oh, God. But yeah, like, it's great that he's very much like what they've always needed. And like after 2013, they needed that much needed damage control and kind of get back on focus. And I don't understand how people thought Nintendo won last year. Nintendo was just fucking flat out boring. And they have been for years. They just haven't shown any like kind of they've shown, unique ideas and stuff, but where is it when you need it? Zelda was shown last year and then you see what happens. But yeah, last year's conference was brilliant. Master Chief Collection was perfectly timed, especially what Xbox One needed. Shame that its execution didn't go too well. I did like the conference. I love the stage. I love how Bonnie Ross and the 343 team came out and everything else. So there was big hopes for this. I think they will lead out with a dominant charge. And I remember reading a lot about Spencer putting an emphasis on first-party studio games, which is what Xbox is severely lacking in 2015.
Big time.
And just in general, the 20s. This is the weird thing with them, because they had a lot of first-party games for the 360 originally, and then they kind of drifted away from that and bought like exclusives with like shooter games like Call of Duty, and then alienated themselves. And then Sony were building their first-party studio army up, and then they're just kind of like falling behind that now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like yeah, man. Remember there's always like that joke that each console, like the original first Xbox, their big first party game that became super successful was Halo, and that carried over to 360 and now to Xbox One. And then for 360, their big exclusive was Gears of War, and that's about to carry over. But they really haven't done that with Xbox One. We haven't gotten that big. I don't think Rise, Son of Rome took off, okay?
No.
So
it's like the Order 1886, like...
Yeah, exactly. Dude,
they're very, very equivalent, aren't they?
So, yeah, very much. Like, graphical powerhouse, but what a shitty game. And so, yeah, they really haven't released something this year, or at all in this generation so far. And I think that, to be honest, I think that's more of a generational thing. This generation, for some reason, is so slow in getting off the bat. And I think it's because last gen lasted so long, and people are still trying to figure out, what to do with these new powerhouses. I would love for them to announce like their next Gears, their next Halo, but I want to see what their big exclusive for Xbox One
They-
is. You know,
They
if
did
they
that
have
quite
one.
well last. Well, not in terms of big exclusive. They did a very kind of great way of like bringing Sunset Overdrive into the E3 press conference last year,
Yeah, that was really cool.
and
Yeah.
it kind of caught people off guard. Like this is an Xbox exclusive IP, and it's like, ooh, well, that's very interesting. Now that kind of like got my attention. I was like, that's a very big shift from 2013 and prior to that. That you know, Sunset Overdrive is a game that's an Xbox exclusive. I think one of the things for them is that moving away from kind of games will come on to that because that's going to be that beefer thing. I think one of them will be the future of Kinect. I think they'll kind of get into that.
Man, I think Kinect's dead though at this point.
Yeah, but they need to kind of send that message out then. Because
Yeah.
otherwise it kind of sends a bad message of what it is. It's kind of, you can't do what Nintendo's doing.
Or Sony
Well,
with
not-
Vita.
Yeah, like
Jeez.
well, Via's a different story. Vita is just like oh my God. It's a fantastic idea in execution. It's been poorly executed completely.
That's-
Even Sony don't know what they're doing with it. It's just a bright LED screen
Yeah,
that plays indie games.
we'll have like that's gonna be a big. That's next week. Next week, like
Yeah, that's next. That's a big
we're-
discussion because I think Morpheus is going to knock it off. But
we're like
we'll get to that.
Rhodey. We're like Rhodey at the end of Iron Man 1. Next time, baby. You know, like, not this time. Next time. That was such a side note. Great moment in that movie.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the big things will be maybe Games with Gold gets a big, like, beef up.
Oh, I hope so. It so sucks right now, dude. It's as bad as Plus, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, like, the thing is, though, Games with Gold came out of something else, though. Like, PS Plus, I originally bought on PS3 to get those good deals. And now I'm just getting, like, fucking backbone of crap, and it's now a paid subscription for online. Well,
Right.
Games with Gold is just a free scheme, and you actually get to keep those games, regardless of, even if it is F1 2013, you get to keep it.
Well, except for Xbox One.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. But I think-
360 you keep indefinitely, but Xbox One it's just like Plus. Like when you take away, you can't play it anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, you're going to pay for Xbox Live Gold anyway, so...
Oh yeah, I mean, if you have an Xbox One and you don't have Xbox Live Gold, then you must not like doing things on
Yeah.
it.
'Cause
Like,
they-
you know,
Their system is built on entertainment.
yeah.
I think they'll probably announce... I don't think they'll announce a new model. No chance.
Yeah, no way.
No
They'd have
chance.
to
It's
lower
too
the,
early.
they have to lower the price before they do that.
I could see a price drop coming later this year. I don't think they'll announce it at E3. I think that might be for Gamescom.
That
They'll
would be
announce
good.
a price drop on
That'd
the
be
holiday.
that'd be huge considering Sony's not going to be there, so they could really
Might-
own it there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of them will be a bundle, maybe with Gears of War.
But not for this year because I don't think Gears is coming out this year.
Well, it depends on what. Yeah, or it might be for the Gears remaster. Like, do you know how they did the Master Chief Collection one?
Oh, right, for the because we know the remaster's coming, definitely.
Yeah, we'll come on to that in a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And I think one of the other things is Spencer has already said that they're doing a Windows 10 PC stuff like on the PC press
Right.
conference. I think we might see. I think isn't Cortana meant to be integrated with Xbox?
I don't know about Xbox, but it's definitely going to be like the Siri for the Windows
PC.
OS, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, yeah, Adnan brought up a good point, guys. Just a reminder for you guys watching on it's the last conference of the 8 conferences, and there's 8 this year. Holy shit! It's the last one. It's called the PC Gaming Show. It's going to happen Tuesday, June 16th at 8 p.m. We have no idea what the PC Gaming Show is. I think a lot of journalists are kind of a little bit confused with what we're going to see. But Microsoft did announce that they are going to have an onstage presence at the PC Gaming Show. And it's going to be presumably Windows 10 talk, and more than likely, obviously game related as well. But yeah, so that would be cool to see them there as well, like in a completely separate conference. That'll be like the first time I think Microsoft's been at 2 conferences in an E3 lately.
Might be good for them as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's
They
great
need
work.
they need to get to that new market.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's a lot of things that I can't really. It's a lot on lockdown. I think the third party studios will take their stage heavily because obviously we couldn't talk about this with Nintendo's last week. But
They, by the
we'll
way,
see.
they better not open with Call of Duty.
Oh man,
Oh god,
fuck
I'm
me.
so tired of E3s with Microsoft opening with Call of
Ugh.
Duty, and then they come
I think
out.
they will.
Map packs coming out first. Who
Black-
cares? Ugh.
Black Ops 3 has been quiet since its reveal.
Yeah, I think they're gonna do it. I'm gonna
I-
laugh so hard if they do.
Yeah, I think it'd be. I think it needs to be changed. And I think one of the things it would be was to come out with fucking punching hard. The conference.
like punching in hard, like being like, yeah.
No, like
Oh.
physically, not like him coming out like Manny Pacquiao with like his boxing gear on and stuff like Phil Spencer. Like, and you have like the announcer from Las Vegas there, like here comes Phil Spencer. Like,
That'd be honestly, that would get my attention so hardcore. I'd be like, "Whoa, they've lost their minds."
I've already told you how Sony's coming out with White Goodman's style Purple Cobras. Well, actually that intro they come out with that's
Awesome.
That was my favorite one. He comes out with first party studios, but I think that with Spencer though, he needs to come out with like a big announcement to start off with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like PlayStation Experience last year. Wasn't Uncharted the opener?
Yes. Oh, what a beauty! I mean, even though the glitch happened, which was hilarious, but that was so like, ooh, so sorry, dude. Like that kind of moment.
Yeah. Well, at least it shows it's not pre-alpha footage or like bullshit.
Yeah, people were like, "Hey, it's real. That's good."
There will be third-party studios. Assassin's Creed will probably be on there. We won't see Kojima. Not this year.
You don't think we'll see? I think Kojima's going to be at Sony's conference.
Yeah,
because I think they're courting him a bit. I think.
Yeah, he was at Sony last year, and then he was at Microsoft the year before, if you remember. Mm-hmm. So he's been rotating. He could come back to Microsoft, but I don't know. Konami might have him locked up in a cellar somewhere.
Make Phantom Pain.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. Can I go on Twitter? No, except retweet our tweets.
Yeah. Fucking hell. But yeah, like apart from the third party stuff, we can kind of expect stuff to be there. Mm-hmm. Nothing big, and especially if you have like Square Enix and stuff and Co, they're going to keep stuff on the side. I think Tomb Raider will have a heavy influence at Microsoft's conference over Square's. Mm-hmm. I think Square is going to focus on. We don't talk about Square anyway because we don't have time. We're going to talk about the big three, but I think Square is going to have Final Fantasy, Deus Ex on the main kind of focus. Then Tomb Raider will be the third focus of and then etc. etc. Mm-hmm. As I said, the publishing deal is going to be more in the sense that Microsoft's going to want to beef it up for the holiday 2015 season.
Right.
On to the actual first-party studios, which is going to be the more interesting part now. Gears of War
yes.
will be there.
This is...
And that...
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, that breaks into... Yeah, you want to do it, go on.
I'll do it. Actually, yeah, Adnan was about to mention that today, Black Tusk Studios are no longer called Black Tusk Studios. They are now renamed the Coalition, and basically they basically came out and said, like, we are what 343 Industries is to Halo, we are to Gears of War. And so, the Coalition is a reference to the Coalition COG, the Coalition of Ordered Governments from the Gears of War lore. So they're essentially the 343 Industries of Halo, and I think that's so cool. So like instead of and Black Tusk Studios, it's not that good of a like a title in comparison.
Well, you might want to be careful with that.
Why?
The internet's split in the middle with this name change.
That is true, yeah. There's been some... I could see why, maybe. I don't think people dug the whole 343 thing. It kind of was a bit self-serving. I could understand that. Personally, I think their logo is badass. Adnan showed me the Vine of it. Looks so cool. I mean, it totally evokes Gears of War,
If you guys haven't seen it, it's basically like a gear, and then it spins.
Like a chainsaw.
Yeah, like a chainsaw. That's not a pun intended either. It literally
they make the noise and everything.
Yeah.
So
that was big news from Rod today. Yeah. He also confirmed that Gears of War will be at the show. Well, actually, he didn't technically confirm it. He says, this is what it says on the Xbox. Why? Speaking of Gears of War, this is from Rod Ferguson. We're getting close to E3 where we'll share more on what's next for Gears of War. Mm. Specifically, Gears fans should tune in to Xbox Daily Live at E3 on Monday, June 15 at 4 p.m. Pacific to see what we're working on.
Right. Which is that's not when the Microsoft E3 briefing starts at it's 12:30 p.m. EST, which I believe is 9:30 PST. Or PT, so 4 p.m. PT would be 4, 5, 6. That would be 7 o'clock EST. So it's definitely not the same time. But it's in a spot where it's not affecting anything because Ubisoft's is at 6, so I'm sure it'll be done by 7. And then Sony's is not until 9:30. So you could tune into this. I am. I mean, I definitely want to check that out. But
Gears
I'm
of War
sure...
is the reason I'll buy an Xbox One.
You know what? Dude, I don't blame you. But you know what I actually think they're going to end up doing? They'll probably show a trailer at the press conference and then say, if you want to see more later today on Xbox Daily Live, we'll be showing it. That's probably what they're going to end up doing.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is that with Gears now, I think... I'm not a huge fan of the name. I like the fact that it gives identity, and in a sense what Microsoft's doing is very clever because they're distinguishing themselves from Sony, that their certain studios are associated with certain brands. Like, you don't commonly associate, like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, you kind of got to the point where you know Naughty Dog does Uncharted, but they're not a reference to the game. I think they're kind of like getting this identity thing that they're doing now with Xbox, that they want their studios to be like, you know, certain studio. Tenturn develops Forza, the Coalition develops Gears of War.
Right.
And the name isn't that brilliant. I mean, like, it's kind of like, I think they might have found something more interesting to do instead of the Coalition, but in execution, I think the design's cool as well, like the logo and stuff. But I think in terms of what they're going to do, Gears of War 4 will be shown, and I think it's going to be like during the Gears of War 2 teaser, where it shows Marcus Phoenix running, he does that chainsaw battle.
Mm-hmm.
They did it at Gears reveal when Cliff Blazinski, I think it was when Cliff Blazinski came out with his chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
With his Lancer, and they show that red screen, and it shows Marcus Phoenix running across it.
Right.
And he gets into a chainsaw duel with Locust.
Mm-hmm.
It will literally be a brief teaser. I don't think they've done anything on this project that much, like, you know, to heavily show something off. I think maybe on the show floor they'll announce the Gears Remastered collection.
Yeah.
And I think if they're going to do it, I wouldn't release it this holiday season, because it makes no sense. I would release it in 2016 to mark the Gears of War anniversary, the 10-year anniversary.
That would be better, like an early release, like March.
Yeah, in Q1 or Q2 of 2016.
Yeah.
Because that would give you a really good slot. I don't think you really need to push in the holiday season, because if you have Rise of the Tomb Raider and you have other games and Halo 5 and stuff, you don't really want Halo 5 to clash with Gears of War in one. It makes no sense, because they're not competing with Sony right now, because Sony doesn't have anything revealed for that space yet. And if Fallout 4 comes out in November, May, like, no chance you're going to put it out in the same month. But yeah, I think Gears of War Collection will be happening. I think one of the big selling points for that should be a beta code for Gears of War 4.
Oh, I mean, that would be... If they don't do that, they'd be foolish. I mean, that just seems like the best choice to do.
It will sell itself, Gears of War. It sells itself, but I think it's a very smart idea, because if it's just Gears of War 1 remastered, then I'd put the beta code in it to access the early multiplayer for Gears of War 4. Yeah. Because they did it for Gears of War 3, I think that was one of the best things they did, because they got feedback from people, and before the game came out, you could see the sawn-off shotgun was tweaked, and a lot of the other mechanics were tweaked, because people were giving them feedback. It's like, it's overpowered to shit. Like, you know, decrease it. So I think that will be one of the main things. Gears of War is definitely going to be something big on the show floor. Halo, obviously, in itself. They've been doing loads of the... they've done the podcast that they've been teasing and stuff, like all the Halo 5 teasers and stuff. And has that live-action TV show happened yet?
No. Oh, so yeah, the one... It did. I didn't watch it, to be honest. I saw the first 5 minutes. I had no interest.
Yeah, I think that Halo 5 will be a focus. Because I think that could end their conference with Bonnie Ross coming out.
Which, actually, dude, Halo 5 is I know I revealed this yesterday, but what's it called? Halo 5 is... I'm sorry, yesterday. What the hell am I talking about? I always do this. Last week, I said my big game that I'm looking forward to for Nintendo at E3 is Star Fox. Hopefully they'll show it, which I'm sure they will. For Microsoft, my big game is, without a doubt, Halo 5. Like, in terms of showing gameplay... Again, what I mean by that is game coming out this year. That's the one I want to see the most of, is Halo 5 Guardians. Because, I gotta say, man, in the last couple of years, I've become a bigger Halo fan than I was, 5 years ago or something. Like, I kind of got into it more than I thought I would appreciate it. And so I really am looking forward to where they're going. I love the direction 343 took Halo 4. I know that there's some,
split.
polarized. Yeah, a lot of people were kind of like half and half about it. I personally liked it. I thought they gave it a lot more. I mean, I never cared about Cortana until Halo 4, and plus she was kind of hot. But what's it called? But Halo 5 just looks like it's going to have that same awesome relationship thing between Locke and what's it called? Master Chief. So and the fact you play as the both of them, it intrigues me a lot. It's going to be almost like Arbiter and Master Chief from Halo 2, except I'm sure it's going to be a lot better. So that's my big game. That's the big game I'm looking forward to for Microsoft's E3 briefing.
Fair enough. I've never really been sold on Halo. Never will be.
I could see, dude. I totally see that. I mean, it took me a while, so
Yeah. But that's a huge one for what it's worth. Other than Gears, Quantum Break's not there.
Yeah, no, it's
I know that. Which is a shame with Remedy not being there, but hey, they need to polish the game up and etc. So that's that. But again, it says everything we can't really know their first-party studio games that well. I think Crackdown 3 will be there.
Crackdown 3? That would be... I mean, I know that Phil Spencer was really cool about it, remember? He's like, that's right, it's back. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he snuck it in there. Because last year we got just that CG trailer, so maybe we'll get an actual gameplay trailer. I don't think it's coming out this year, though. No, actually, I think if we get it again, it's going to be another CG trailer. But I don't think it's coming out this year. I think that's going to be like a 2016 release.
At least it's not pre-alpha footage, like fucking Ubisoft. It's fucking pre-alpha footage.
And it's still coming out this year, remember? Even though it's
pre-alpha. It's like, don't worry, like, we've already developed it. Look at Watch Dogs in 2012 and look at it now. But I think now it's going to be the big time. I don't really know what he's got planned. He's going to have huge things. I don't know if entertainment's going to be their focus either. Mm-hmm. In terms, I think there'll be new apps coming to the Xbox store to download. I don't know which ones. I think the majority of them are already on the Xbox. Maybe an update will be announced in terms of that. There's going to be a new Xbox update deployed soon for the dashboard.
I mean, they could do that. I honestly think they would do it after post-conference, though, because I think they really want to be, like, they're really pushing we're all about the games, like that kind of thing. So I could see that being like a Major Nelson reveal, like afterwards or something like that. Like Major Nelson, by the way, like
they always leave it to Major Nelson to do it out there, poor guy. So it's even him on the Xbox Wire, and they're both the same place as well. But yeah, I mean, I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head. It's hard because they don't really being that vocal about stuff, and I think they got top secret stuff planned. Mm-hmm. Hopefully,
yeah.
But yeah, do you have anything?
No, I think we pretty much that's it. Like, I mean, I'm looking forward to it very much. I think Microsoft. I really want to see if they can keep the momentum up, but no, I think that's gonna wrap it up. I think we're pretty good, and 2 down, 1 to go. Next week, we're gonna finish our trilogy. And,
yes, the circle is complete.
The circle is now complete. But all right, dude. I guess take us home, dude.
Yes, I will. All the way home. But that's it for this week's episode. Be sure to follow the Gamer Headline Show on Twitter at TGH Show. I mess this intro up every time I'm hosting. Oh my god, it's like, but be sure to like us on Facebook at the Gamer Headline Show for up-to-date episodes from Gamer Headlines Show podcast. That's like my keep a simpler moment. I hope you all got that. Additionally, the Gamer Headline Show can be found on Podbean, Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, Dailymotion, and of course right here at gamerheadlines.com. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week with Sony's E3 press conference preview.
Yeah. All right, guys. Take care.